So the Liberal Democrats come under fire in the Daily Telegraph this morning in the latest revelations over MPs' expenses. The Daily Telegraph this morning just calling it payback time. Among the allegations on the Liberal Democrats this morning, it says the former party leader Min Campbell claimed £10,000 to hire a top designer to refurbish his London home. Prime Minister Gordon Brown has promised extreme action to restore public trust in politicians. We're joined now by forensic accountant David Winch. Very good morning to you. And Kirsty Brimelow, who's a barrister. So they've been keeping a close eye on events at Westminster. David, if I could turn to you first. Downing Street says a large number of external auditors will be recruited to check 4 years' worth of expenses. Is that going to be a very public audit?
It sounds like a rather boring job, I have to say. 4 years' worth of gardening bills and such like.
Because we'll be paying for that audit, won't we, as members of the public?
Indeed we will. It could take as long as 6 months to complete, depending on how many people are involved. Or it could perhaps be done within 3. Who knows, we might get the results at Christmas.
What about those who were authorising these claims in the first place?
I think we have to be careful about what the rules are. Perhaps the rules haven't been as clear as they should have been, and as a result people have done things which they felt were within the spirit of the rules, but perhaps the rest of us feel were not quite fair.
When you read about second homes being fixed for the duration of the Parliament, do you see that as a smart move?
Well,
it would avoid flipping, wouldn't it? It
would avoid flipping, yes. From a tax point of view, what has been done in terms of what we call flipping is perfectly legal. And accountants up and down the country are advising people with second homes to do that routinely. The problem is that we have politicians telling us that people should pay the right amount of tax. And clearly, if they're going to tell us that we should pay the right amount of tax, then we have to be seeing them paying the right amount of tax.
Yes, legal, moral, ethical, a difficult balance. Kirsty, the common speaker who's come under his own criticism this week has asked the police to look into the leak of the expenses details to the Telegraph in the first place. We've just had the Deputy Editor Andrew Pearce on here. Was this a big secret that we were never supposed to find out about?
No, there was certainly some resistance to the information being published, but in fact, it was actually lawyers who took it through the courts, and there was a ruling that it does come within the Freedom of Information Act, and the information was meant to be published in July, so it's obviously come a little early. Right,
OK. And is there a case for the police to look into the expenses claims themselves, do you think?
I think in terms of whether ultimately somebody's going to be charged, I think there would be quite an outcry, because the Crown Prosecution Service has to decide, is it in the public interest ultimately to bring a prosecution? So I don't think that the police should be looking at the leak. They should be looking at the expenses themselves.
So is it possible here that we could have lawyers and auditors making lots of lovely lolly public money? With a bit of luck, David. No.
Well, maybe.
We'll see. David, thank you very much indeed. David Winch and Kirsty Brimelow. Thank you very much indeed.